Dear students of class 7, welcome back. Today I shall discuss a new chapter, that is chapter number 15. The name of the chapter is, or the name of the topic is prepositions. So what is preposition? We should know what is preposition. Preposition is a word used before a noun or pronoun to create relation among the other words of the sentence. So it creates relation among the other words of the sentence. Dear students, it is an important topic of English grammar. Using incorrect preposition can completely change the meaning of a sentence. So correct use of preposition is vitally important in English. So correct, we should use correct preposition. Dear students, today I shall discuss preposition of place, preposition of time, preposition of movement and direction. So let me start the discussion with preposition of place. So what is preposition of place? It is a preposition which is used to refer to a place where something or someone located. So it is a preposition which is used to refer to a place where something or someone is located. So at first I will discuss preposition of place. Preposition preposition of place. Prepositions of place. So I hope you have understood the definition of prepositions of place. Once again I am repeating the definition. It is a preposition which is used to refer to a place where something or someone is located. Where something or someone is located. So under preposition of place, I'll discuss 9 to 10 preposition, where to use and how to use. I hope at the end of the discussion you will be able to learn how to use preposition correctly. How to use preposition correctly. So first is at. First is at. Where to use at. So it is used to describe a certain point. We describe certain point with at. How? It is used to describe a certain point. So for example, we can say, so once again I am repeating the definition of where to use at. It is used to describe a certain point. It is used to describe a certain point. So we can write like this. For example, let's practice one or two example. He is waiting. He is waiting at the. He is waiting at the bus stop. Another example. He is waiting at the bus stop. He is standing. STAND. He is standing at the door. He is standing at the door. He is standing at the door. So as I said you earlier, it is used to describe a certain point. So here at is describing a certain point. That means he is standing at the door. It is a certain point. It is talking of a particular place, or we can say certain point. So I hope you have understood where to use. If we talk of a particular point or particular place, then we will use what? At. We will use at. So please remember where to use at. Now I will discuss where to use in. And remember that I am discussing prepositions of place. I hope you have understood where to use at. Now I will discuss, or I shall discuss where to use in. Where to use in. Where to use in. We use in to describe an enclosed area, or we can say which is surrounded by boundaries, we use in for an enclosed space or a place surrounded by boundaries, So basically it is used to describe a place which is enclosed or surrounded by boundaries. So for example, the dog is in the garden, GARDEN. The dog is in the garden. The dog is in the garden. The dog is in the garden. So we know basically garden is a separate place which normally people enclose it. Either with fence or maybe with other things. They enclose it. So where we'll use in? We'll use in when we talk about an enclosed area, or if it is surrounded by boundaries. For example, another example, let me explain another example. Let's go for a walk in the let's go for a walk in the forest. Let's go for a walk in the forest. So we know that forest is an area which normally remains separated and is also enclosed. So we use in for an enclosed area, or if a place is surrounded by boundaries. The dog is in the garden. Let's go for a walk in the forest. I hope you have understood. Where to use at and where to use in. Now I'll discuss on where to use on. Where to use on. Where to use on. It is a preposition which is used to describe a surface. Like this, this is a surface. So if a thing is there, that means if a thing is touching a surface, then we will use on. Then we or you will use on. If a thing is touching the surface, then we will use on. For example, the ball is on the bed. 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 So The ball is bed. We know that bed is surface, so ball is on the bed. That means it is describing a surface. So let me explain another example. The bag is on the bag is on the floor. The bag is on the floor. FLOOR. The bag is on the floor. So floor, that means the bag is on the surface. The bag is on the surface. So I hope you have understood where to use on. We will use on to describe a surface, and if a thing is touching the surface, we will use on. Now moving to the next preposition. The next preposition is under. The next preposition of place is under. UNDER, under. UNDER, under. So where to use under? Under means below or at lower level, than something. Below or at lower level than something. So in that case, we will use below. If a thing is below or at lower level than something. For example, we slept. SLEPT. We slept under the open. We slept under the OPEN, open sky. SKY. We slept under the open sky. We slept under the open sky. So where you or I will use under to describe a below or at lower level thing, than something. If a thing is below or at lower level than something, we will use under. So we slept under the open sky. That means we have slept under the sky. So another example, let me explain, or hope I have you have understood where to use under. Another example, if I cite another example, so that if I cite another example, it will help you to understand where to use under. The cat is under the table. TABLE. The cat is under the table. So I hope you have understood where to use under. The cat is under the table. That means the cat is under the table, and it is lower than the table. And we use under to express below or at lower level than something. To express a thing which is below or at lower level than something. So I hope you have understood where to use under. Now the next preposition is behind. Behind means at the back of. That means something which is in our back. So now behind, BEHIND, behind. So we can, how to use behind in a sentence? Our house is Our house is behind the station. Our house is behind the station. STATION. Our house is behind the station. Our house is behind the station. So that means something which is in the back side, something which is in back of something which is in the back of another thing. So what we will use behind? Our house is behind the station. Let me cite another example. Ram is standing, STAND, standing. Ram is standing STAND, stand. Ram is standing behind, BEHIND, behind me. Ram is standing behind me. That means we use behind to express something which is in our back, or which is in our back. You can say Ram is standing behind me. I hope you have understood where to use. Next, where to use preposition behind. Now next is near. Near means close to something. Near means the pen is near me. So to explain a thing which is close to us, we use the preposition near. Remember that we are discussing prepositions of place. So behind means a place, standing behind me. So now near. Now what? Near means something which is close. Where to use near? NEAR, near. So as I said you earlier that near means close, something which is close to us. We can let us practice 1-2 example. He is standing or sitting, SITT. He is sitting near me, NEAR, near me. He is sitting near me. So I hope you have understood where to use near. Near, we use near to explain something which is close to us. Another example, let me write down. Another example is there is a car. There is a car near. There is a car near the there is a car near the school, SCHOOL, school. So I hope you have understood where to use near. So next is by. Next preposition is by. Where to use by. Where to use by? We use by to express a thing which is near or at the side of. To express a thing which is near or at the side of. We use by to express a thing which is near or at the side of. For example, let's practice 1-2 example. My house is by the river, river river. My house is by the river. So when we use preposition of place by, we use it to express near or at the end of, near or at the side of, near or at the side of. To express near or at the side of, we use the preposition by. So I have cited you an example. My house is by the river. My house is by the river. Another example, let me. The telephone is by the window. The telephone is by the window. The telephone is by the window. W-I-N-D-O-W. The telephone is by the window. So when you will use by, you will use by to explain a thing which is near or at the side of. To explain a thing which is near or at the side of. So I hope you have understood this. Now next is before. B-E-F-O-R-E, before. B-E-F-O-R-E, before. So where to use before? Where to use the preposition before? It is used to refer a thing which is in front of. It is used to refer a thing which is in front of. It is used to refer a thing which is in front of. We use what? Before. We use preposition before to refer a thing which is in front of. So let's practice 1 or 2 example. He was brought, B-R-O-U-G-H-T. He was brought before us. Another example. Okay, he was brought before the us. So as I said you earlier, where to use before? We use before to refer a thing which is in front of us. You can write another example. If he is standing before me, you can write also like this. So we use before to explain a thing which is in front of us. To explain a thing which is in front of us. Now the next is between. Another, you can, the magician was brought before the audience. You can, while going through the book, I have seen that example also. So you can write many examples. You can write many sentences with the help of before. Now the next preposition is between. The next preposition is between. So when we will use, or when we are to use between. So we should know the usage. So where we are to use between, it is used to describe something in the middle of two objects. It is used to describe something in the middle of two objects. In the middle of, it is used to describe something in the middle of two things. In the middle of two things. That means pen is in the middle of my hand and my phone. So you can write. So let me. I hope you have understood. So let me practice one or two. Let's practice one or two example. The shop is between BETW. The shop is between the trees. TREES. The shop is between the trees. That means the shop is standing between the trees. That means this is shop, and in the left and right side of the shop there are trees. So it is standing between the trees. So we use between. We use between to describe something in the middle of two things. Let's practice another example. Our school is between the road. Our school is between the road and the hostel and the hostel. So I hope you have understood where to use between, where to use the preposition between. Where to use the preposition between, BETWN, where to use the preposition between. Now next preposition is, I hope you have understood this. Now the next preposition is in front of, that is directly before us. In front of means directly before, that means directly before us or directly before something. We use in front of to describe a thing which is directly before us. To describe a thing which is directly before us. In front of. In front of. Where we will use it? To describe a thing which is directly in front of us. To describe a thing which is directly in front of us. For example, he is sitting. He is sitting. SITT. He is sitting. He is sitting in front of me. FRONT. In front of. He is sitting in front of me. He is sitting in front of me. So where to use in front of, or when to use in front of? We use it to describe something which is directly before us. So another example is, let me cite you another example. There is a car. There is a car in there is a car in front of there is a car in front of our school. O your SCHOOL school. There is a car in front of our school. In front of our school. Or there is a car in front of the school. There is a car in front of the school. So I hope you have understood where to use in front of. The next preposition is above. So when or where to use above? It is used to describe a thing which is higher and something below is there. It is used to describe a thing which is higher and something below is there, and something below is there. For example, let me cite you an example. The aeroplane is flying the aeroplane is flying above the clouds. CLOUDS, above the clouds. The aeroplane is flying above the clouds. The aeroplane is flying above the clouds. So I hope you have understood where to use above. So the next preposition is below. So now what I have discussed? I have discussed the preposition above, 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 ABO, and where we will use it? We will use it to describe a thing which is higher and something below is there. To describe a thing which is higher and something below is there. Now I shall discuss the preposition. I'll discuss the preposition below. So where to use and when to use, or you can say where to use below. We use it in a, if something like this is given, or we use it to express a lower place or position than something else. A lower place or position, we use it to express a lower position or lower place or position than something else. So let's practice one or two examples. BELOW. The sun sank. The sun sank below the horizon. The sun sank below the horizon. The sun sank below the horizon, HRI, the sun sank below the horizon. The sun sank below the horizon. So I hope you have understood where to use below. Another example. Let me cite you another example. So I hope you have understood where to below. Oh, I told you that I'll cite you another example. He dived below the surface, surface of he dived below the surface of the water. WATER. He dived below the surface of the water. He dived below the surface of the water. So I hope you have understood. I hope you have understood where to use below, where to use the preposition below. Now I have finished the discussion. I have finished the discussion of prepositions of place. I hope you have understood where to use preposition of place or when to use preposition of place. Now I will discuss prepositions of time. Time. Preposition of time. So first of all, you should know the definition of preposition of time. You should know the definition of preposition of time. It is used to discuss time like months. It is used to discuss time like month, days, week, or general time of the day. So what is preposition of time? Preposition of time is used to discuss time like months, days, hours, or general time of the day, or season also. So under this I will discuss I will discuss 15 to 20 preposition. I will discuss where to use the prepositions of time. By name you can understand that preposition of time means we should use the preposition before time, like month of the day, days of the week, month of the year, before year. Like this we use preposition of time. So under preposition of time, the first preposition I will discuss, I am going to discuss is at. So where to use at? So where to use at? We use at before precise time like 3 o'clock, 8 o'clock. So we use at before precise time, and also we use at before age. We use at to describe precise time, and we use at before age. So let me explain one or two examples. I sleep at 7 o'clock. I sleep at 7 o'clock. So we use at to describe precise time. I sleep at 7 o'clock every day. You can use to what? To describe we use a preposition of time, that means preposition at, to describe exact time or precise time. I sleep at 7 o'clock. He will start the journey at 3 o'clock. He will start the journey at 3 o'clock. So I have a meeting at 3 p.m. I have a meeting at 3 p.m. So we use preposition at to describe precise time. So we also use at before age. We also use the preposition at before age. For example, he joined the factory he joined the factory at 21. He joined the factory at 21, or you can write at 21. He joined the factory at 21. That means 21. When his age is 21. So he joined the factory when he was 21 years old. So I hope you have understood. We will use before precise time and we will use that to describe precise time and age. So the next preposition under preposition of time is in. Under preposition of time is in. Under preposition of time is in. Earlier I have discussed at. Now I am going to discuss in. So where to use and when to use in. So we use in to describe months. To describe number 1 months, then number 2 season, then year and parts of the day. With 4 things we use in. We use in with 4 things. That means with year, with months, with seasons, that means winter, summer, and with part of the day, that means evening, morning. So we use in before 4 things. So let me explain. Let's practice 3-4 example. He was born in 1997. He was born in 1997. I will, or he will buy a blanket. He will buy a blanket in winter. WINTER. He will buy a blanket in winter. I told you earlier that we use in before year, before season, before part of the day, and before month. So another, he, or we can write she will come, in January, January, January. She will come in January. He was born in 1997, before year. He will buy a blanket in winter, before season. She will come in January, before month. So I hope you have understood. We will use before, we will use in before years, before season, seasons before months, and before part of the day. So for example, she will go for a walk in the morning. She will go for a walk in the morning. She will go for a walk in the morning. Or I shall sleep in the morning. I shall sleep in the morning. I shall sleep, I shall sleep in the morning. In the morning. In the morning. I shall sleep in the morning. So I hope you have understood where to use preposition in. So I have discussed two prepositions under preposition of time. One is preposition at and the other is preposition in. Now I will discuss where to use preposition on. Preposition on is used before days of the week. Preposition on is used before days of the week and fixed dates. So where we are to use preposition on? Before days of the week and fixed dates. Before days of the week and fixed date. She preposition on. She will come. She will come whom? She will come whom on Monday. On Monday. She will come home on Monday. So I have told you earlier that we will use preposition on before days of the week. Before days of the week and before fixed date. He will leave for Delhi. He will leave for Delhi on 4th May. On 4th May. He will leave for Delhi. He will leave for Delhi on 4th May. So where you will use preposition on? Where you will use on? Before days of the week and before fixed date. So I hope you have understood where to use the preposition, where to use preposition on. So now we will learn. Now you will learn where to use preposition before. Preposition before. B-E-F-O-R-E before. B-E-F-O-R-E before. So here to use the preposition before. We use before. We use before to refer to any. We use before to refer to any time previous to a specific point in time. Previous to a specific point in time. So in this case, we are to use before. We are to use before. We use before to refer to any time. Refer to any time previous to a specific point in time. To a specific point in time. So there will be using, or there we are to use before. So for example, I hope you have understood where to use before. He will come home. He will come home before evening. He will come home before evening. He will come home before evening. So where to use before? We use before to refer to any time previous to a specific point in time. Previous to a specific point in time we use before. He will come before evening. He will come home, or you can write he will come home before evening. So the next preposition is after, and after means later than. After means where we will use if something is there which talks about later than. So we will use after. A-F-T-E-R. Where we will use after? It refers to something later than. It refers to a thing which is later than. So where we are to use after? He will eat after. He will eat after salat. Or he will eat after salat. Also you can write S-A-L-A. After you can write he will eat after the prayer. After the prayer. P-R-A-Y-E-R. He will eat after the prayer. He will eat after the prayer. He will eat after the prayer. So I hope you have understood where to use after. Now you will learn where to use from. So where to use from? Where to use from? F-R-O-M. So where to use from? Where to use from? Used to show time when something starts. From means it is used to show time, to show the time when something starts. So from. He worked from May to. He worked from May to August. A-U-G-U-S-T. He worked from, or you can write he worked from May to July. J-U-L-Y, July. So he worked from May to July. So where we will use, or where we are to use F-R-O-M, the preposition F-R from, used to show it is used to show the time when something start. The time when something start. He worked from May to July. Or another example, he will stay there from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. He will stay there from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Another example, moving to next preposition. The next preposition is till or until. So where to use till or until? We will use till or until indicates a specific or unspecific time up to a point. It indicates a specific. Till or until indicates a specific or unspecific time up to a point. So let's practice one or two example. Till, until. So where to use till or until? We will use it before we will use till or until before a specific or unspecific time up to a point. They will not return. They will not return until Friday. 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 So I hope you have understood where to use till or until. Wait here till I come. Wait here till I come. So like this you can use till or until. So I hope you have understood where to use till or until. Now the next preposition is by. By. So where we are to use by, the preposition by, it is used specifically with an end point of time, and it means no later than. So let me explain where to use by with an example. Please send me the report by Sunday. Please send me the report by Sunday. Please send me the report. So we'll use by when we speak of deadline. That means please send me the report by Sunday. So when we speak of deadline, we will use the preposition by. So the next preposition is for. The next preposition is for. Where to use for? Where to use for? Where to use the preposition for? For is used for a period of time. For example, I have been waiting. If you have studied, I hope you have studied tenses. In tenses, in present tense, there is there is present perfect continuous tense. So in present perfect continuous tense we use since, we use for. So where we are to use for? For is used for a period of time. For is used for it indicates a period of time. I have been waiting for 3 hours. I have been waiting for 3 hours. He will be away for a few days. He will be away for a few days. So I have been waiting for 3 hours. For is used, we use for to indicate a period of time. We use for to indicate a period of time. I have been waiting. I have been waiting for 5 hours. HOURS. So I hope you have understood where to use for. Now the next preposition is during. Where to use? During. It indicates a period of time. During. It indicates the period of time. It indicates a period of time. For example, the sun gives us light during the day. It indicates the period of time. The sun gives us light during the day. For example, the sun gives us light. The sun gives us light during the day. So what? During indicates a period of time. It indicates a period of time. There is also another case where we will be using during. It indicates a point of time throughout the duration of an event. It indicates a point of time throughout the duration of an event. Throughout the duration of any event. For example, he was sleeping during the class. 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 CLA. He was sleeping during the class. I hope you have understood where to use during. There are two cases where we will be using during. First case is we will use to indicate a period of time. We will use to indicate a period of time. And the second case is we will use it to indicate a point of time throughout the duration of an event. So I hope you have understood where to use it. Now the next preposition is since. Where to use since or when to use since. The next preposition is since. SI, since. Where to use since. It indicates a time span. It indicates a time span beginning in a time. It indicates a time span beginning in a time in the past. It indicates a time span beginning in a time in the past and still continuing in the present. So when we are to use since? I hope you have understood where to use since. We will use since if it talks about a time who started earlier, and is going on, and is going on. So, or you can say, and is still continuing in the present time. Is still continuing in the present time. For example, he is playing since morning. He is playing since morning. He is playing. He is playing since morning. MORNING. He is playing since morning. So the time span started in the past and is still continuing in the present time. So we will use, in that case, we will use the preposition since. Preposition since. We will use the preposition since. So I hope you have understood where to use preposition since. He is playing since in the morning. This is the example. To indicate, we will use since if we see a time span which started in the past time and is still continuing in the present time, we will use since. And now the next preposition is between. So where we will use between? After one time and before the next time. So between is, that means in the middle of something. Between means in the middle of something. In the middle of something. So in the middle of something, there in the middle of my both hand, pen is there. So between means in the middle of something. So let's practice an example. He will come home. He will come home between. He will come home between. He will come home between 7 o'clock and 11 o'clock. CLOCK. He will come home between. He will come home between 7 and 11 o'clock. 7 and 11 o'clock. He will come home. He will come home between 7 and 11 o'clock. Now the next. Now I hope you have understood where to use between. So I have discussed preposition of time. I have finished the discussion of preposition of time. So I hope you have understood where to use the preposition. I hope you will use it. Now you will. I hope you have understood and you will use it correctly. Now the next preposition is preposition of movement and direction. 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 So what is preposition of movement and direction? What is preposition of movement and direction? Preposition of movement and direction are used to show movement from one place to another. Preposition of movement and direction are used to show movement from one place to another. They are usually found after the verb. So preposition of movement is used to show movement from one place to another. So the first preposition under preposition of movement and direction is to. So where we are to use to. it is used to indicate destination. It is used to indicate destination. For example, he went to the school. So it is indicating a destination that he went to the school. The school is his destination. So we will use to indicate destination. He went to the school. SCHOOL. He went to the school. He went to the shop. He went to the market. So we will use to indicate destination. We will use to indicate destination. When destination is there, we will use the preposition to. So the next preposition is towards. The next preposition is towards. TOWARDS. So when we are to use towards, we will use towards, or towards is used to say that someone or something. Towards is used to say someone or something moves, faces, or looks in the direction of someone or something. In the direction of someone or something. So once again I am repeating, where we are to use the preposition towards. It is used to say that something or someone or something moves, faces towards, looks in the direction of someone, somebody, in the direction of someone or something. So he went towards. He went towards the school. SCHOOL. He went towards the school. So you will use towards to indicate someone or something is moving towards. Someone or something is moving in the direction. Something or someone is moving in the direction of someone or somebody, of someone or something. So I hope you have understood where to use towards. Now the next preposition is into. So the next preposition is into. So where to use the preposition into? Where to use the preposition into? The preposition into. So denotes movement towards the interior of something. Denotes movement towards the interior of something. Denotes movement towards the interior of something. I hope you have understood where to use into. Let's practice one example. He jumped. JUM. He jumped into the river. So earlier I said you that we use into to indicate we use into to denote a movement towards the interior of something. We use into to denote a movement towards the interior of something. He jumped into the river. That means something is moving into the interior of river. So into is used to denote something moving, in the interior of something. He jumped into the river is an example of into. So where to use into? So you have seen I have used in the sentence. Another example is he went into the room. That means he is moving into an interior place. So where to use into? When something is moving into the interior of something. So I hope you have understood where to use into. So we will use into to denote movement towards the interior of something. Now the next preposition is for suggest beginning of a movement. For suggest beginning of a movement, not the movement which we studied in history. Movement means one place to another. So for suggest beginning of a movement. So let me write an example. He left for the school. He left for the school. That means he is going to school. That means he left for the school. Or another, he left for the shop. So I hope you have understood where to use for. Now the next preposition is from FROM. From the next preposition under preposition and movement, under prepositions of movement and direction is from FROM. From. So where to use from? From is used to show the place where someone or something start. From is used to show the place where something or someone starts. For example, he came from the office. He came from the office. Another, he came from the school. He came from the meeting. He came from the meeting. So where we will use from? When a sentence will show, from is used to show the place where someone or something starts. Where someone or something start. So he came from the office. That means from there he started and came. From there he started and came. So he came from the office. He came from the dining hall. He came from the school. He came from the hostel. He came from the market. We can write whatever we want. If we just understand the concept, then we can easily use the preposition. Now the next preposition is OWF. It indicates separation. It indicates separation. Next preposition is of OWF and it indicates separation. It indicates separation. OWF and it indicates separation from something. That means he fell off the horse. He fell off the horse. For example, he fell off the horse. He fell off the horse. He fell off the horse. So off indicates separation. So he was sitting on the horse and he fell down. So it is indicating separation. So he fell, we will use off. So he fell off the horse. Where we will use off? When it will indicates, when it indicates separation, we will use off. He fell off the horse. Another example is he jumped off the bed. He jumped off the bed. He jumped off the bed. So I hope you have understood where to use the preposition of. The next preposition is along. The next preposition is along. The next preposition is along. So where we will use the preposition along? It is used to show movement of something in a time that follows the side of something long. So for example, let's practice an example. She is walking along the road. She is walking along the road. She is walking along the She is walking along the road. So along is used to show movement. Along is used to show movement of something in a time. Something in a time that follows the side of something long. The side of something long. She is walking along the road. She is walking along the road. The next preposition is up. The next preposition is up. So when we are to use the preposition up, it is used to refer a higher position. It is used to refer a higher position or movement to a higher position. It refers movement to a higher position, from lower position to higher position. So let's practice one or two example. He is climbing up. He is climbing up the stairs. He is climbing up the stairs. He is climbing up the stairs. That means a movement is indicated. It is indicated a movement from lower position to higher position. The cat is climbing up the tree. Another example is the cat is climbing up the tree. The first example is he is climbing up the stairs. The next preposition is down, and it indicates a movement from up to down. D-O-W-N, down. So it indicates a movement from up to down. They ran down the hill. They ran down the hill. H-I-L-L. They ran down the hill. He ran down the stairs. That means from up to down, we will use the preposition down. The next preposition is round. So when we are to use the preposition round, when movement takes place around something. When movements take place for example, around. If something is there and movement takes place like this, we will use around. We will use the preposition around. If movement takes place like this, we will use the preposition around. The boys are, the girls. Sorry, it is round. The preposition is round, R-O-U-N-D, round. If movement take place around this, then we will use the preposition round. They are moving round. They are moving round the tree. So I hope you have. They are moving round the tree. They are moving round the tree. I hope you have understood where to use round and around. They are moving round the tree. The next preposition is by, and it indicates, we will use the preposition by. It is normally we use preposition by if we travel with a car, if we travel by a car, anything, train, aeroplane, bus. So what we will use? We will use preposition by. That means, for example, he travels by car, he is traveling by bus, he is traveling by bus, he is traveling by train. So we will use by whenever we travel with a vehicle. Whenever we travel with a vehicle. Earlier I have round. So earlier I have discussed this. Again I am discussing this round. So that dance, for example, that danced around the tree. So we'll use. So I hope you have understood where to use the preposition by and where to use the preposition. Where to use the preposition round. So another important preposition is of. And we use preposition if someone dies because of any disease. For example, he died of malaria, he died of heart attack, he died of diabetes. So of, where we will use of if someone dies because of any disease. So before disease, what we will use? What you or I will use is, or what we are to use is of. He died of malaria. He died of malaria. He died of malaria. So I hope you have understood where to use preposition. So I have discussed what I have done. I have discussed all the important preposition. So I hope you have understood whatever I have discussed. If you find any problem while going through the video, please contact me at night from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. This is the end of this chapter.